I grew up in a system where chefs used fear as the motivation, and I've never believed with that. I always like to lead with joy. So, Hav Mar, it's a restaurant that was created by Marcus Samuelson in an effort to put more women of color in the spotlight. Hence, I'm the executive chef. And when he handed me the reins, for me, it was also about putting other women of color in the spotlight, but also cooking in a way that's really responsible, that takes care of both the planet, so making sure we're a close to zero waste kitchen in most parts of the world, where if you really took into consideration all the things I just said, like something actually lost its life to nourish you. Farmers are out there working so hard. The person who cooked your food, all those things, when you take that into consideration, food should be like a moment to sit down and appreciate all these things. We love telling that story. I was fortunate enough to grow up in a family that was very close to our food source. And I'm not saying this is how every family in Ethiopia eats, but a lot of families in Ethiopia eat this way, where we were so close to where our food was growing. My mom would sometimes, like if she ran out of romaine lettuce, she'd be like, hey, go across and grab one head of romaine, you know? I missed that style of eating when I moved to America when I was 16. And being a chef is kind of what brought me right back to being able to consume food that way, because as a chef, you have direct relationship with the farmers. I like to operate as a chef because that's how I grew up eating food. So the traditional dish, and it's like a very laborious dish. So that's why in Ethiopia, traditionally, we only have it at weddings or like wedding ceremonies or like holidays, Christmas and all that stuff, because it takes so long to make. I call this dish the Addis York. So the capital of Ethiopia is Addis Ababa, which means new flour. So Addis, new, is the Ethiopian word for new, so New York. So Addis York, so it's like a marriage between Ethiopia and New York. This dish, I mean, it's the national dish of Ethiopia, right? And I always want to put us on the map. I always say, I come with 4 of the most underrepresented voices in America. I'm Black, I'm an immigrant, I'm a woman, I'm Muslim. But, like Ethiopians for so many years, I think our way into pop culture is that we're runners, because like every marathon has always had like an Ethiopian at the breaking records. I think we're very talented, and there's not that many Ethiopian chefs. Putting this dish on the menu, that's the national dish of Ethiopia, it's a point of conversation. When our servers are talking about or explaining the menu, they could explain, oh yeah, this is the national dish of Ethiopia. Well, why is it on the menu? Oh, our executive chef is Ethiopian, So I think it's a beautiful way to represent in a subtle way, kind of what I was talking about. There's not that many women of color that are in leadership positions. And I think it's one of the ways to bring that up. Being part of MenuMasters Spotlight, it's really important to me because it's amplifying my story. When I talk about how there aren't enough women of color in leadership positions, we often, when we're here, we don't often get a chance to talk about it, So I think the more we get to amplify our stories to a wide-ranging audience, the more people that can come to the restaurant and challenge the status quo. Hey, how come there aren't more women that are leading kitchens? Like, they're badass, they should be here. But also, I grew up in a system where chefs used fear as the motivation, and I've never believed with that. I always like to lead with joy. So cooking with intention, celebrating the planet, celebrating our farmers, our vendors. Yeah, just a place where people can come together and enjoy food that they may not have in other places, in a setting that celebrates Black artists. Yeah, I don't know, just a place of joy. I genuinely believe that I was put on earth to leave everything around me better than I found it. So whether it's the people that I come in contact with, my community, the spaces that I occupy, I believe I was put here to leave it better than I found it. I hope everybody that dines here, like, they feel happier and nourished. I hope my team, every day they clock out, they feel better for it, you know? I don't know. That's the shorthand version of it.